rock bottom, low point, breaking point. Everybody calls it something different. But regardless of whatever it is that you call it, every single person on this planet knows the feeling of losing all hope. When it seems like all the progress that you made in this life just flies out the window and you're left with absolutely nothing. And you're saying to yourself, is it even worth it? Is it even worth it to keep being kind to people? Is it even worth it to trust again? Is it even worth it to hope for anything again when nothing ever seems to work out for you? Is it even worth it? That's the question that so many of us are asking ourselves constantly. And how are we supposed to move past that feeling when our spirit is crushed? And now, of course, we've heard all the cliches before of how struggle builds success, young man or young woman, or nothing worthwhile is ever easy in this world. Bruh, we get it. And we know it. But what happens when you're past that point? What happens when you're in such a dark place that you can't even find the energy to take another step? What happens when you're in such a dark place that getting out of the bed in the morning feels like going for a half marathon? How do you move past that? Or how do you move past it when that little voice in the back of your head keeps whispering to you day and night all the reasons why your life doesn't matter? Or it's whispering to you things saying, you'll never amount to anything. This world doesn't need you. You'll never be happy ever again. You're nothing. How do you move past that? And the sad thing is that the more that we start to listen to that voice, the more that we start to believe it. And the more that we start to truly believe it, next thing you know, we find that our permanent residency is at rock bottom. And all we see everywhere around us is just darkness and nothing else. And we find ourselves saying, how in the world can anything pierce through this darkness when it's been with me for so long? Is there anything more than this? Is there anything besides this? But you know what? Someone forgot to tell the darkness that it only has power in the absence of light. So when light comes in, take your stuff and take a seat, darkness. It's gotta go. But you and I, we know that it's not that easy. We know that it's a little bit more difficult than that. And it's really kind of a cruel trick sometimes this world plays on us. Because we're so consumed and have to stay so focused on all of our pain, all of our sadness, all of our hurt, that we don't realize that right next to us, there's a little light switch. And all we have to do is flick it up. But in order to do that, we have to take our eyes off of our sadness and off of our pain for just 2 seconds. But that's not easy to do. Because that sadness and that pain and that darkness, it's comfortable, it's familiar, and for many of us, that's all we've ever known. So how do we beat that? We have to dive deeper. We have to go to the deepest parts within ourselves, past the pain, past the darkness, past the sadness, the deepest part to where those emergency joys, as I call them, those little beacons of light reside deep within us. And when we hit those emergency joys, whatever it is for you, that light is so bright that no matter how dark your day is, it's gotta go. It can't help but bring a smile to your face. We have to dive within ourselves to find that and use that as our guiding light. And we have to remember that rock bottom is not the end, but rock bottom is our beginning. That's where we start to build. And we have to use those emergency joys, so that passion that you feel when you write, when you draw, when you listen to music, when you talk to people, when you play sports, whatever it is, use that passion as the building blocks to build one by one on top of that solid rock foundation of rock bottom. So take all the things that this world told you that you weren't good enough and that you couldn't do this or you had too much of that. Nah, forget it. Use that as the pillars of your life. So maybe this world told you that you overthink too much and your overthinking is a problem. Your overthinking is a creative tool that allows you to see every aspect from every side of every angle of every situation before you engage in it. That sounds like a superpower to me. But it's all about how we're viewing it. And it's up to us to dig within to find what that is in our lives. But oh my goodness, you can do it. You've already done it before. Give yourself credit where credit is due. You've done it before, and you'll do it again. So now it's time to plug in that light and expose that darkness for what it really is. So thank you so much, guys. Hope everyone stays safe and has a good one.